Hello Mila, hello Jack, hello everybody else who's watching, and welcome to Storytime with Grandad. Today's book is from Rupert the Bear, and it is Rupert and the Treehouse. At last, sighed Mr. Bear, hammering in a nail. I thought we'd never get this shed finished. Now, let's just clear up those spare planks, and then I'll be ready for a cup of tea. Could I have the planks, please, Dad? Asked Rupert. Yes, of course, said Mr. Bear. Haven't you had enough of building for one day? I'm going to build something that's much more fun than a shed, laughed Rupert. I'll just go and find Bill and Algy. Rupert found his pals, Bill Badger and Algy Bug, playing football on Nutwood Common. Hello, he called, running over and tackling Bill. Oh, Rupert, shouted Bill, you've spoilt my goal. Forget football, Bill, said Rupert. I've had a better idea. What could be better than football? Objected Bill. Rupert told his friends about the spare planks. Why don't we build a tree house, he said. Oh yes, chorused the others, and they raced back to Rupert's house to collect the wood. Mr. Bear gave the pals a long piece of rope to help lash the planks together, and Mrs. Bear packed a picnic for them. Soon they were on their way to Nutwood Forest. Do we really need the football, Bill? Asked Algy. Of course, said Bill. Once we've finished the treehouse, I can take my revenge on Rupert for ruining my goal. In the forest, Algy ran up to a sturdy old oak. Let's use this tree, he called. Oh, no you don't, snarled an angry voice above them. It's Raggedy, cried Rupert. The little wood troll scuttled to the ground. Don't worry, Raggedy, said Rupert. We won't disturb you. We'll use this tree instead. I'm going to climb up really high, shouted Bill. Bet you can't catch me. I'm not even going to try, laughed Rupert. It's much better down here. Come on, Algy, pass those planks up. Algy passed 3 planks up, which Rupert wedged into the branches to make the floor of the treehouse. Algy had just climbed up to join Rupert when a strange drumming noise broke out above them. What are you doing, Bill? Asked Rupert. Nothing, said Bill. The noise is coming from the other side of the tree. I'll just swing round and see what it... Ow! Oh no! Help! There was a crash and Bill came tumbling down through the branches. He hit the edge of the planks and all 3 pals were catapulted to the ground. What on earth? Began Algy. Sorry, gasped Bill. There are woodpeckers up there. One of them just attacked me. But it's not like woodpeckers to attack anyone, said Rupert. They're my friends. What could have happened? I don't know, said Bill, but I'm not going back up there to find out. No, agreed Rupert sadly. We'd better leave them alone. Let's go home. At home, Rupert told Mrs. Bear about the woodpeckers. What could have made them so angry? He asked her. I don't know, she replied. Why don't you ask the wise owl to go and talk to them? But ask him nicely, won't you? He doesn't normally wake up for another couple of hours. Rupert ran to the owl's tree and called softly up to him. The owl was rather cross and sleepy at first. Who's there? He snapped. It can't be time to wake up, it isn't dark yet. But when Rupert told him what had happened, he became very interested. Don't you worry, Rupert, he said. Run along back home and wait while I go and talk to the woodpeckers. Sometime later, Owl swooped down into Rupert's garden. He looked very worried. I'm not surprised the woodpeckers are so jumpy, he said. They say there's a thief in the woods going around stealing eggs. The warblers have had 3 stolen. The nuthatches have lost 2 of theirs. The thrushes and blackbirds have lost more than they can count, and the poor woodpeckers are scared that they'll be next. They moved their nest higher up the tree, hoping they wouldn't be found, and couldn't believe it when Bill appeared right next to their new hole. But I'd never steal birds' eggs, protested Bill. Of course not, said Rupert. But they must be so frightened. They couldn't take any risks. I wonder what we can do. Let's all meet in the forest and work out a plan. Mr. Owl, could you fly on ahead and tell the woodpeckers not to worry any more? We'll help them catch their thief." "Of course," said the owl. "I'll go at once." When the pals arrived, Raggedy ran up to them excitedly. "I'm going to catch the thief," he announced proudly. "He's going to hide in the branches," explained the owl, "right next to the nest. He'll blend in with the background so the thief won't notice him. If he sees anything suspicious, he'll raise the alarm." "Brilliant," said Rupert. "We three had better go down to the common, otherwise the thief won't show up at all. We'll be close enough for you to call us if there's trouble." Bill seized the football and raced off. "Right," he called, "I'm going to score a goal this time, and Rupert's not going to stop me." Bill sprinted away with Rupert at his heels and was just heading for the goal when Rupert gave a loud yell. "Oh, Rupert," wailed Bill as his shot went wide of the goal. "You put me off again. Why did you screech like that?" He turned round to look at his friend and burst out laughing. Raggedy had leapt onto Rupert's back and was gripping his ears with his sharp little hands. "I thought I'd never catch your attention," complained the troll in his crotchety voice. "I called you, but you were too busy with your football. Come quickly. The thief has stolen one of the woodpecker's eggs. The owl is following him." They ran back to the forest and found the woodpeckers looking very distressed. "We couldn't stop him," they said. "He lashed out at us with a stick. We didn't stand a chance." Just then the owl swooped down. "I've found out where the thief lives," he announced. "If we hurry, we might still be able to rescue that egg. Follow me, everyone." The owl led the pals and the birds to the top of a hill. "That's the place," he said, pointing to a solitary cottage. "Right," said Rupert. "Bill and I had better go down there while Algy fetches PC Growler. Mr. Owl, could you and the other birds fly ahead and distract the thief?" "We'd be delighted to," said the owl, and they sped away. Bill and Rupert arrived at the house in time to hear a commotion start up in the back garden. "Hey, get off my lettuces!" shouted an angry voice. Bill giggled. Good old birds. They'll keep him busy for a while. The pals sneaked through the door and into a room lined with glass cases full of neatly labelled birds' eggs. There were chests of drawers too, all filled with eggs. "Gosh," gasped Bill, "they're beautiful." "Yes," said Rupert, "but they would have been even more beautiful if they'd been allowed to hatch. What use are they like this? Think of all the poor birds who lost their eggs just so that he can keep them in a drawer." "Look," whispered Bill, "there's a woodpecker's egg." Rupert picked it up. "It's still warm," he said. "Let's go." He wrapped it up carefully in his scarf and they crept outside. But as they tiptoed up the path, the man saw them. "Come back here, you little thief," he snarled, grabbing Rupert's arm. "You're the thief," said Rupert. "This egg belongs to the woodpeckers." But as the man went to grab it back, the owl swooped down and snatched his watch chain from his pocket. "Give that back," shouted the man, letting go of Rupert's arm. "You're an even worse thief than this bear." "But you're the worst thief of all," barked a stern voice. It was PC Growler. "Good work, Rupert," he said. "Now, if you'll take that egg back to its owners, I'll have a little chat with this gentleman down at the police station. Give him his watch back now, Mr. Owl. I don't want to have to arrest you too." The woodpeckers were overjoyed to have their egg back. Rupert climbed up the tree and placed it gently back in their nest next to the other four. "Now we'd all like to do something for you in return," said Mother Woodpecker. "If you three can put those planks back where they were before, we'll do the rest." The planks were put back in no time. Then the pals sat back and watched in amazement as all the birds in the forest fluttered back and forth, bringing twigs and leaves. "What are you doing?" asked Bill, but the birds were too busy to answer. They just carried on swooping and diving and weaving twigs together until their task was complete. The pals could scarcely believe their eyes. The birds had built the most perfect treehouse they had ever seen. "It's wonderful," gasped Rupert. "Thank you, everyone." "Watch me," shouted Bill, climbing up past the roof of the treehouse. "I'm going to be king of the castle." "Careful you don't fall again," teased Rupert. "I won't," said Bill, "so long as no one attacks me." At that moment they heard a tapping sound coming from just above Bill's head. "Oh no," cried Bill, "not again." "Are there other woodpeckers up there?" asked Rupert. "There might be," said Mother Woodpecker mysteriously. "Shall we have a look?" The birds fluttered up to their nest, while the pals scrambled after them. "You look first, Rupert," said the Father Woodpecker. Rupert peered in. "Oh," he gasped, "look, everyone!" Where before there had been 5 white eggs, there were now 5 tiny, newborn woodpeckers. The end. Goodbye, Mila. Goodbye, Jack. I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.